Sunday. Good morning, Karen. Good to see you. Good morning to YouTube as well. Good to see you. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. Hey, yo, how are you, Jeff? Good to see you, everybody. If you guys have questions, if you guys have comments, or you want to talk about cruising, you want to talk about travel, you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, I am here for at least the next hour to answer your questions. And we're going to be talking about cruise news, cruise specials, cruise deals, cruise ship, anything to do with cruising, or pretty much anything you want to talk about with traveling. I have a question. Do you know if you need 6 months on your passport before going to Mexico? If you're talking about just flying down to Mexico, I'm not exactly sure, but cruise lines want you to have at least 6 months before your expiration on the passport if you're going to use the passport for the ID, and that's for any of the cruises. So it's not just Mexico. That is for any of the cruises. Good morning, Cassie, over on YouTube. I got Controversial Cruising. I like that handle. Good morning. How are you? Good to see everybody. Hey, Heather. Hey, Christy. How are you? Your husband needs to renew the passport. Yeah, it is an interesting rule. That is the thing with cruising. They want you to have 6 months past, the end of the cruise, just in case. So yeah, that is that rule. And also keep in mind, if you want to sail on Virgin Voyages, which is the all-adult cruise line, you have to have a passport. That is the one cruise line that sails out of the United States regularly. That absolutely, positively, every guest on Virgin Voyages must have a passport. Jeff Cohen, good morning. How are you over on the YouTube side? So again, if you're just joining us, I'm Walter. I am a travel advisor. We are travel advisors. Typically, I would say my wife, Rebecca, is joining me right next to me, but we've both been under the weather this week. Rebecca is actually taking a nap. She's relaxing. She's feeling a little worse than I am. So as of right now, she is not here with us. Yeah, so it's been a heck of a week. And 1 week from today, happy Palm Sunday, by the way, to those who are celebrating. But 1 week from today, Easter Sunday, we will be boarding the Scarlet Lady. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do about a live next week. I don't know if we'll do it on the ship, but we will be getting back on the Scarlet Lady because I can't wait for Thanksgiving. And speaking of the Scarlet Lady over on the YouTube side, there is an offer running right now from Virgin Voyages. They extended that bar tab up through April 11th. And now they've added it for April cruises all the way through 2024. Before that bar tab was cut off for 2023 cruises only. But now, if you book by April 11th, you will get 45% off second sailor and up to a $600 bar tab from Virgin Voyages. Still a good deal. Kelly over here on TikTok, the best solo cruises. Well, I don't know about the best solo cruises, but I can tell you that Norwegian really kicked it off with the studio section. So you can get studio cabins, and then they have a studio lounge, especially on the breakaway class and up. And then Virgin Voyages has both interiors and they have ocean views, which they call sea view cabin. Celebrity, the Edge series, has solo infinite balconies as well. So you actually get an infinite balcony on there. So those are the big three that we kind of lean into. But Rebecca and I did some research. We found a lot of cruise ships, especially there's a whole bunch of Royal Caribbean ships that have solo cabins that we didn't realize. So in terms of a solo cruise, those are the cruise lines that are not going to charge you extra. For those of you who don't know, when you are a solo traveler, very often the cruise lines are going to charge you for that extra person who's not in the cabin with you. So you definitely want to try to get a solo cabin. Hey, Sherry, how are you over on YouTube? You're just off the Brilliance of the Seas, a great 5-day cruise. Fantastic. Good to see you, Sherry. Looking forward to working with you in the future. Sherry's got a bunch of really interesting itineraries that we're talking to her about. Oh, my goodness. Very cool. Let's see. Controversial Cruising over on YouTube. The best way to contact John Heald is just Facebook, as far as I know. For those of you who don't know, John Heald is the ambassador of Carnival Cruises. So, yeah, something is probably going around. Over on TikTok, you're so excited. You booked Carnival Celebration in December. It's been 5 years since your last cruise. Holy moly, that's awesome. We just booked our first guest. In fact, their very first cruise. They're going on the Carnival Jubilee in March. So that was our first booking on the Carnival Jubilee. You're welcome, Controversial Cruising. That is a fun handle. I like that a lot. But yeah, so that was our first one. Um, for I'm messing up over on my YouTube side. Sorry, I'm getting used to some new software over there. But yeah, that is so cool. Congratulations. Welcome back after 5 years. Good morning, Maureen from Charleston, South Carolina. How are you? Jeff over on TikTok. Have we ever been on cruises that have rock bands or musical stars? We have not. That is a theme cruise. We have a good friend who goes every year. I think it's called the Prague cruise, which is progressive music cruise. And he goes every single year and he loves it. So the big thing about going on a theme cruise, of course, the Star Trek cruise is the most famous one. There's a Broadway cruise, there's a country music cruise, there's a jazz, like there's pretty much a cruise for everything under the sun. Now, the thing to keep in mind about those, the cruise lines themselves don't put those cruises on. It's a third party. So a third party comes in, they charter the entire ship. So you're going to pay, maybe double or triple what you would typically pay for a standard cruise on that same ship. But that's because you're also paying for that extra entertainment that's coming on board. But the biggest thing that I would say about a themed cruise is just check out the reviews, see what people are saying, because some of them are run much better than others. I mean, the Star Trek one is like world famous. That is like the granddaddy of all theme cruises. But there's some really good music cruise. I saw Celebrity recently had one like on the Summit or the Millennium that looked really fun. So they look like a lot of fun. Zach, 96 days until you set sail on Scarlet Lady. We will keep the seat warm for you this week. Watch for us next week. I'll be definitely posting up some content from Scarlet again. We're going to finally, we missed dinner at Razzle Dazzle the first time, so we're going to have dinner there. And I think there's one other restaurant that we missed. So we're definitely going to try to find a Poke Bowls this time. So Wild Geek, good morning. You just got back from a 6-night Western Caribbean cruise. I hope you had an amazing time. I hope you had an absolutely awesome time. That's what we did on the Sky Princess. We were 7 nights on the Western Caribbean, and the Sky Princess has just made it back over to Europe, and she's going to be over there for a while. In fact, she's going in for a short dry dock, and apparently the Sky Princess is going to lose the Bistro sur la Mer, which is one of their high-end seafood restaurants, but it was in a weird spot. It was kind of like sitting out in the piazza. So when you were paying all this money for a really nice high-end dinner, you were kind of like out in the middle of the action. And some folks are saying that it's going to be crooners, and then other folks are saying that it may be a like a little bar, a brew pub or something like that. I think a brew pub would actually be kind of cool, but crooners will work as well. Good morning, Bill, over on the YouTube side. Good to see you. This is so much fun working YouTube and TikTok. Unfortunately, I have to do it as 2 separate streams because TikTok still won't allow anybody to run software in there. So that's why we're kind of having 2 different conversations, but y'all are amazing. So happy to see you all. Thank you so much for coming in to join us. I want to remind everybody we have a group cruise coming up at Thanksgiving, November 18th through the 26th. We're going to be on we're going to be on the Valiant Lady on Virgin Voyages, November 18th through the 26th. I have to say, space is now limited. We only have sea terraces left and only on 3 decks. The ship is it's really getting close to sold out. So if you want to join our group cruise, November 18th through the 26th on the Valiant Lady, definitely don't wait too long. If you book by April 11th, you will get a $600 bar tab on that cruise, and you'll get 45% off the second sailor. And you're going to get extra sailor loot because you're going to be part of our circle or part of our group. You can get something like up to $300 more sailor loot just for being a part of our group. But I just booked somebody on the cruise a couple days ago. There's 3 decks, sea terraces only, and not that many sea terraces on each deck. So that is going to sell out soon. So if you want to join us for Thanksgiving, we would love to have you come join us for Thanksgiving. Don't wait too long, please. So, the Legends cruise. Yes, that is legendary. Wait for it. Legendary. So you have to go alone now. Any tips? So solo travelers, I mean, the big thing about traveling solo, and I really wish more cruise lines would lean into the solo traveler. Most of the cruise lines don't have, solo cabins. So you end up paying for 2 people in the cabin, and that kind of stinks. So what you really want to look for is the cruise lines that have the studio cabins, or at least the solo cabins. Again, Norwegian, Virgin, and Celebrity are the first 3 to come to mind. But Royal Caribbean actually has a lot of solo cabins out there. They're just spread out across the fleet, and they don't really advertise it. So that's the big key. Or like MSC Cruises right now is running 80% off single supplement. So you pay 20% of that second sailor instead of 100%. That's really the biggest tip. Work with a travel agent, whether you want to work with, obviously we're travel agents, so we would love to work with you, but work with us or work with a travel agent that you like and trust, and let them find those solo cabins for you. I mean, basically, the way we work is you tell us where you want to go and when you want to go, and then we'll find the cabins for you. We'll try to find those best offers for you. So, Misfit, May 14th on a Carnival Celebration. Great ship. We went on the Mardi Gras. We loved it. So I would really like to go on the Celebration and the Jubilee. I really like the Celebration with the like that terminal thing they did down on there on the deck with the big LED screen. That looks really, really fun. Good morning, Kelly Banks. How are you? Boy, you guys like the Legends cruise. I see a lot of people popping up on the Legends cruise. That sounds like it's a good one, people. So if you're looking for a theme cruise, sounds like the Legend. Joe, good morning. How are you? I hope it's nice up in Chicago today. Somebody is considering the Carnival Celebration 7-night Eastern versus the Vista 8-night ABC. Can't decide, same cost. Well, first of all, if they're the same cost, that's really good, because the Celebration would probably be a little bit higher. So here's one thing to consider. Do you like to snorkel? If you like to snorkel, the Bonaire is supposed to have some of the best snorkeling in the world, and that's going to be, part of the ABCs. Of course, for me, if you're saying they're the same cost and I'm going to get 8 nights versus 7 nights, I'm going to lean toward the 8-night. Now, on the Celebration, you will have more food options that are included with the cruise fare versus the Vista. Like I think on the Vista, you're going to have to pay for the Cucina del Capitano, the Italian restaurant, and you don't on the Celebration. So if that matters. But for me, I'm all about more nights. So I would probably lean toward the Vista and take that extra night at sea. But that's just me. That's just me. Hey, Charlotte, North Carolina, how are you? How do people know exactly how many days till the trip? Do they just count, or is there an email sent? A lot of us have vacation countdowns. If you look up on any mobile app, go into the App Store and just look up vacation countdown. There's a countdown calendar in there, and you set it, and we have it. And if you go into the cruise line app, very often, like Virgin Voyages, the moment you log into the app, hey, we'll see you in 47 days. Hey, we'll see you in 35 days. So the app itself actually tells you as well. You would love to stick on all 3 crews using different prescribed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Good morning from Texas. How are you? How are you? Great. I can't believe how big this has become. I have a question over here on TikTok. What is up with NCL banning fans? I don't know. When you find out, you tell me. That is the weirdest ban. If you have not heard, if you've not seen the TikTok or anything like that, Norwegian Cruise Line very quietly added a 31st item to their prohibited list, and it is fans, personal fans, electric, handheld, battery operated, etc., per the wording on the thing. Which means even those little personal fans, like Rebecca brings them all the time, so she takes them off the ship, Caribbean gets hot, she's got a little fan going, even those are banned. I have no idea. I think it's one of the silliest rules I've ever seen. I get the ones that plug into the wall. I kind of get that. They could say, okay, that's a fire hazard, so you have to bring USB powered or battery powered. I get that. But just to say none whatsoever, I have gotten so much pushback from my own clients. Like, don't book me on those ships anymore. I got to have a fan. So it's going to be very interesting. I think Norwegian's going to have to take a little step back on that one at some point. At least I hope they do. Like I said, I totally get if they want to ban the ones that actually plug into an electrical outlet, but don't ban them all. I mean, there should at least be the option to have a personal, and certainly the little ones that you take off the ship with you when you're on an excursion, or maybe when you're out on the upper decks. I mean, I really don't know how that's affecting ship operation, but we'll just have to wait and see. So over here on YouTube, Cassie, oh, you're getting married on the 8th and embarking on the Wonder on the 16th. Happy wedding. Oh my goodness. Wow. Happy wedding. So I'm assuming that is your honeymoon on the Wonder of the Seas. Gee, man, you just picked a little ship for that one. And the Wonder is amazing. I was actually supposed to be on the Wonder of the Seas today. I was invited to a tour to the ship, but I've not been feeling quite right for the past few days. And I was like, yeah, I'm not driving out to Port Canaveral. So I was supposed to get a tour today, but I've been on the Symphony of the Seas. So I have seen an Oasis class ship. You were going to have an amazing time. The Oasis class ships seem like they're just these massive things, but when you're on the ship itself, they really are quite lovely. And by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up over on the YouTube side, I am showing a nice slide of the Christmas Marketplace River Cruises. That is a bucket list item, people. If you're interested in one of those river cruises, we have booked at least one client on Avalon Waterways. Oh my God, that's a bucket list for me. I really want to go do that cruise. So if you're interested in Christmas Marketplace at all, oh my God, just let me know. Heather, how was my ride on Tron? It was interesting. That is Disney World, Magic Kingdom. We were invited as pass holders to go in and try out the Tron. Now, the interesting thing about it is you're basically kneeling down in it. So if you have any issues like with your knees or anything like that, you may not want to go into the main motorcycle car. They actually have a car on the very back that you sit up that might be more comfortable, but you are basically kneeling down and your head is way down, and then you're trying to look up to see what's coming. I will say I couldn't hear any. The sound was so loud. I have no idea what the storyline was, but I wish the ride was about 15 seconds longer. If it was about 15 seconds longer, it would have been amazing. But we did feel it in our neck the rest of the day just from trying to, look up and see what was coming. So we did feel that. But amazing ride. I would love to go back on it. On Carnival, is the Elite Cruise worth it? I don't know what the Elite Cruise is. I have not seen the Elite Cruise, so I am sorry I can't answer that question. Kimberly, you just got out to Mardi Gras. Lovely, nice. Yeah, it's time for a haircut. Really? I don't know. I kind of like it. It's getting a little bushy, but I think it's okay. Oh yeah, the Shipmate app. That is a good one to do a countdown. Best place to eat on the Harmony. Well, I don't know. We were on Symphony. If Harmony has Hooked, which is a seafood restaurant, that was really, really good. I believe it does have Wonderland. Wonderland is fun for going once. And what else was good on Chops Grill? Was not bad. It was good. It was not bad. But if they have Hooked, that's the one I would definitely recommend. 10-day Mediterranean on the Odyssey next month. Ooh, that should be a lot of fun. The Quantum class, we have not been on the Quantum class yet. I really, really want to get on the Quantum class. The Odyssey was right behind us when we went out on the Sky Princess. She was right behind us. I was like, wow, that ship looks like a lot of fun. And it was kind of cracking me up. They had the North Star going. Now, if you sailed out of Fort Lauderdale, it's an industrial port with a whole bunch of like oil tanks and stuff alongside the pier, and people were going up in the North Star. And I'm like, what are they looking at? They're looking at oil tankers. So I don't think I'd want to do it there. But that ship was actually designed for Alaska. I think it's a very interesting story. That whole class was designed for Alaska. And that's one of the reasons why they have the North Star. And it's another reason why they have that enclosed sports court, because it was designed for Alaska. So I think it could be a very interesting way to go up there. But yeah, beautiful ships. I really want to go on. Colette, that's right. You got 5 weeks to your Alaskan cruise. You are on that fantastic 14-day itinerary. I love it. Wow, Cassie, not only is it your first cruise, but you're going on the biggest ship until the icon comes out. Wow, congratulations. I cannot wait. I hope you're going to be posting a lot of pictures in our Facebook group. If you're not in our Facebook group yet, hey, we got a private Facebook group. Where's Walter Travel is where we are. So come on over and join us over there and post pictures. We want to see it. Let's see. You're going on my your third cruise next Sunday out of Baltimore. Oh, that'll be interesting. I've never cruised out of Baltimore. I know that Princess is doing some very interesting itineraries out of Baltimore coming up. Kind of like America's history kind of thing. So that should be really a lot of fun. That is so awesome. TikTok, are last minute deals really worth it, or are the deals better 90 days out? So that just all depends. I have actually seen the opposite. As we get closer to the cruise and the cruises are selling out, the prices are going up. For instance, interior cabins on the Freedom of the Seas for a cruise coming up in April, we were booking them for around $950, maybe $970 back in December, and now they're going for almost $2,000 per person. So you tell me. One of the things, booking way early is actually really good. And if you book really, really early, up until final payment, we just keep getting your price adjusted. So if you book a year out and the price goes down a couple of times, like we've actually done that for a client who's going to Alaska in 2024. We've done 2 or 3 of them now, and they actually notified us. They're like, hey, we just saw that it went down. We'll just call Royal Caribbean and get it adjusted. So there's no fear in booking early. The thing that you won't get is if they offer a deal where it's like, hey, we're going to give you $200 on board credit plus a special deal. You won't get that on board credit, but you will get, the better price. So I say book early. Booking late these days seems to be more expensive in some cases than booking early. Debbie over on TikTok, what do I think about Norwegian Cruise Line? I love them. They're great. They're really, really great. I think the food in the main dining room is okay. The food in the buffet is okay, but their specialty dining looks really good. And we just watched Ben and David on the Prima, and it looked like the Indulge Food Hall, which is included on the Prima, looked really, really good. They said the food was excellent, especially the Indian food. And I think Norwegian has outstanding entertainment. I think their outdoor pools are a little bit weak. They're kind of small for the size of a ship, but their entertainment is fantastic. Love the waterfront on the Breakaway class ships. And of course, they got Ocean Boulevard now on the Prima Viva that look absolutely gorgeous. That's like our place to hang out on the Norwegian ships. We hang out down on the waterfront area, but beautiful ships, great crew, fantastic entertainment, and their specialty dining. Food Republic is one of our favorite restaurants at sea. It's on Norwegian. Philip, are there cruises that don't leave the United States? Oh, actually, yeah. American Cruise Line. I know this is backwards for those of you guys on TikTok, but American Cruise Line is actually a great little cruise line. They do the rivers, they do the coast, Alaska coast, and then other than that, it will be the Pride of America from Norwegian Cruise Line, which does the Hawaiian Islands. Because of the way the flags are, because of the way the ships are flagged in Bahamas and other countries like that, every ship that leaves the United States has to touch an international port, and usually it's Mexico or the Bahamas, something like that. So that's why they have to do it. But if you just want to stay in the United States, that's going to be American Cruise Lines, Virgin with some of their, Viking, some of their river cruises, and then the Pride of America primarily. Good morning, Andrew. How are you? Sherry over on YouTube. Right. So we booked Sherry on a fantastic Norwegian cruise up into Canada. Has anybody done Canada yet? We have not done that. Where you go up and you see, Nova Scotia, you go into Canada, maybe you go into the St. Lawrence Seaway, where we used to fish. When I was a kid, I grew up in New York. We used to go fishing in the St. Lawrence River, the Thousand Islands, it was called. We used to have a place. Alexandria Bay was the big spot, but then Goose Bay was right next to it, and that's where we would go for 2 weeks every summer. We'd go pike fishing, actually on the Canadian side of the St. Lawrence. So, man, I have not done that, Sherry. I'm so jealous. I'm excited for you going on that cruise. That is going to be absolutely amazing. But yeah, have any of you done the Canada and or Boston trip up there? Oh, speaking of Boston, I'm going to throw one more thing at you guys as I try to catch up on the TikTok side. Holland America, if you have not seen this, if you live in the New York, New England area, Holland America in 2024 has some long itineraries leaving out of Boston, like 25, 31 days, and you get to do the full Caribbean round trip from Boston, or you get to do the Panama Canal round trip from Boston. They have at least 4 itineraries that they have announced for 2024. I think maybe one is in 2025, but some really interesting. Holland America, if you've not looked at their itinerary, Holland and Princess have 2 of the most interesting itineraries, or two of the most interesting cruise companies with really interesting itineraries if you're getting kind of bored of the same old. But Holland America is going to do 25 to like 34 days, Boston all the way through the Caribbean, back up using the coast of Italy. Oh, that must have been gorgeous. See, now that's where you do the North Star. You do the North Star when you are like in some place where you're going to see some gorgeous stuff, right? That's what you do. Love it. Love it. Thanks for joining in. Have we booked the Sun? So are you talking about the Sun Princess? I'm going to assume, Nathan, that you're talking about the Sun Princess. We have not booked it yet. That is the brand new, oh my God, like absolutely ridiculous looking ship coming from Princess, coming next year. It's the largest ship that they've ever built. It looks like it's sort of kind of built on the Excel class frame, but not really. Big glass dome on top. The aft of it is totally different. She's going to do a Mediterranean season, and then she's coming over here, I think in September 2024. So we're going to get to see it. She will be doing a full Caribbean season in 2024 into 2025. So yes, I desperately want to be on the Sun Princess. What travel documents are needed for a 10-year-old without a passport? Oh, that's a good question. I would have to look that up, to be honest. Obviously, they're not going to have a driver's license. Probably the birth certificate, the original birth certificate is what I am going to guess. I would have to look that up. I've never, I haven't looked that up in a little while, but every cruise line has a FAQ, and your travel documents are part of the FAQ. So go ahead and take a look at the FAQ on there. But my guess is going to be the original birth certificate, and that is the original, not a copy of it. It's got to be the one with the raised seal on it. What about Regent? Amazing. I mean, that's all I can say. We've not sailed on Regent yet, but so Regent Seven Seas is going to be your all-inclusive. All of your meals. I believe the alcohol is included, maybe some of the alcohol is included. Your shore excursions are going to be included, things like that. So it's much smaller experience, a very small ship, and those ships can go into places that the big ships cannot. So if you're tired of, there's too many people on the cruise, I'm being nickeled and dimed all the time, and you want to start stepping up. I mean, certainly Oceania is a step up. That is somewhat all-inclusive. Then you get into Regent, you get into Seabourn, and that is just, next level service. So yeah, there's nothing bad to say about Regent Cruise Line. It's amazing. Rebecca and I actually looked at it at one point because we were pricing out a Mediterranean cruise, and one of the things Regent does is they include the airfare in the cruise fare as well. And when we were looking at, say a Celebrity, Princess, some of these others, compared to Regent, it wasn't that much more expensive to go on Regent. And then you looked at everything that was included on the Regent, it was almost a wash, because we're going to get our flights, we're going to get our meals, our Wi-Fi, like all this stuff is going to be included. And then on the Princess Celebrity side, we get the cruise, and we got to start adding all these things on, and it was really close. Same with Azamara. In fact, we found some cruises in the Mediterranean that were cheaper than Celebrity, Princess for the exact same time frame, almost the same itinerary. So, and it just depends on the itinerary. Other places, other areas, Azamara was more expensive. So yeah, if you're looking, it's like, look, I've done Princess, I've done Celebrity, I've done, all these other cruise lines. I really would like to start stepping up. Oceania is certainly that next step, because you do get inclusions, you do get shore excursions, not quite to the level of, your Seabourn, Regent, Viking. But Oceania is a nice next step from Princess Celebrity. And then if you're like, yep, I really like this Oceania experience, because you get in for a lower cost than you do with the Viking, with the Regent, with the Seabourn. So if you're like, okay, I like Oceania, then you can go ahead and go all the way on up to, say, getting a Viking, a Regent. What's the matter, hon?
You don't really get shore excursions with Oceania unless it's in their deal.
Yeah, it's in the O-Life deal. Yeah. So Rebecca just came out for a moment. With Oceania, they have a package. It's called the O-Life, and you get some shore excursions with the O-Life. But it's like you get one basic excursion, and then you have to pay for the upgrade. Just kind of like a river cruise. With a lot of river cruises, you'll get an excursion, and then if you want a higher level one, you have to pay for it. So it's something like that. Your husband is deployed. Oh, thank you for your service, and we'll have to book last minute. Any suggestions? I would say definitely work with a travel agent at that point too. We have done that. We have booked cruises like just 2 weeks out. The thing that's happening with a lot of cruise lines right now is they're closing the cruises a little bit earlier than they typically have. It depends on the cruise. Like Royal Caribbean especially been closing out their ships. I've seen them close out the ships 2 weeks early. So my best suggestion would be just work with a travel agent, because you're going to be looking all over. Okay, this website, that website, this website, that. Just work with a travel agent. Just say, look, I want to sail on this day. I want to sail from here. Find me a ship, and let them find a ship for you. Like with us, we will present you generally 2 to 4 options depending on how many are available at that time. So that's my best advice. If you're really trying to get a last minute deal. Don't try looking all over the place, figure it out yourself. Travel agents are free. We cost nothing to work with you. So work with a travel agent. Just tell them, I want a sale on this day. I got a sale on this day. It's going to be last minute, but let's go. And we've done that. We've done that on the West Coast, and we've done that on the East Coast for clients. It's kind of hairy sometimes, but we can do it. So the best cruise line there, well, for me, there is not one. They're all good. They're all good, and they're all annoying. Like Norwegian Cruise Line is a great cruise line, but they just banned fans. Everybody's upset with them. But there really isn't. There's the best. There's really the best ship for you. We don't even base our decisions on cruise lines necessarily. We base all of our decisions on the ship. When we are pricing out or we're finding itinerary for our clients, we're basing it on the ship itself, not necessarily the cruise line, because different ships within a cruise line have different experiences. Like Royal Caribbean is a great example. They've got the very, very small ship. They definitely cater towards an older audience, but they have really interesting itineraries. And they have their really, really big ships, very loud, lots of families, lots of kids running around. So it's two completely different experiences, but the same cruise line. And depending on who we're pricing for, we might price the little ship that has a really interesting itinerary, or we might price the big ship that has all the fun and bells and whistles and all of that stuff. So there really isn't a best cruise line, to be honest with you. When people tell you that this is the best cruise line, it's their favorite cruise line, and they want you to like it. That's really what it is. But for us, we've been on 8 of them. We're going to go on MSC sometime in the near future. So that'll be 9 cruise line. We like exploring all the various ships. So we're more about the ship than we are about the cruise line itself. You're going on. Good morning, Joyce. How are you? You're going on the Jewel of the Seas in 2 weeks. Have we cruised on it? It's funny. We've been booked on that ship twice. The first time it got canceled because of COVID, when the cruises all got canceled. And the second time we were supposed to be going to the Norwegian fjords this past August, but because of some stuff that was going on here, we had to cancel that cruise. She looks like a lovely ship. We just booked some folks. Actually, she's going to be sailing out of San Juan. And we booked some folks on an amazing cruise. Now, if you're one of these people who's like, I don't want any sea days, I would really like to have a port every single day, you should be looking at cruises out of San Juan. The NCL Prima, literally a stop every single day on a 7-day cruise. The Jewel, 6 stops in 7 days. Absolutely amazing. So she looks like a fabulous ship. I really want to cruise on her. She doesn't have all of that stuff up top. I think she has a rock climbing wall. That's about all she has. So she looked absolutely fantastic. I think you're going to have a great time. We have booked multiple clients on it. Philip, when you age out of a teen club at 18, are you allowed in adult areas? Yeah, that just depends on the policies of the cruise line, whether adult is 18 or 21. And sometimes it's the venues, or sometimes it's the time of day with the venues. So it just depends on the cruise line policy, what the 18-year-olds are allowed to do. So you're going to have to look that up in the FAQs. Thank you, K-Stream. You love the Jewel. Thanks for popping in. I love that. On the Mardi Gras right now. Hey, Tyler, how are you? Hey, thanks so much for joining in. I hope you're having an amazing time on the Mardi Gras. Thank you, Maureen. Certified copy of their birth certificate. Yeah, and generally it's the original with the raised seal. You booked Silver Sea to Alaska. Any reviews? Wow, that's amazing. I think Gary Bembridge has been on Silver Sea. I'm not sure. He's been on well over 100 cruises. Tips for travelers on the YouTube channel. You can look to see if he's been on Silver Sea. I don't know what your stops are, but I can tell you, we went to Juneau, Ketchikan, and Skagway on the ship itself. Now on land, we did Fairbanks, Copper River, and Denali National Park. So we did a land sea tour with Princess. So we did 14 days in Alaska. But you're going to have an amazing time. That's all I'm going to say. And Silver Sea, I do believe you're going to get some of the excursions included with that cruise line. So have an amazing time. That's all I can say. Just have an amazing time. But I don't have any personal experience with Silver Sea yet. That is one of the ones that's on my list. I've got a list. There's over 320 cruise ships out there right now, and I've got a list of which ones. Oh, and then there's 75 more coming in the next 5 years. I got a lot of cruising to do, is what I'm trying to say. Steph, you missed the NCL ban. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. On the prohibited list now for Norwegian Cruise Line is all personal fans, whether it's electric, handheld, or battery. That came out this week very, very quietly. If you go onto Norwegian's website and look at the prohibited list, item number 31, no fans whatsoever. They claim they're going to confiscate them. We'll see what happens. What reason would there be for price differences between websites and agent may be lower on a website? There really should be not much in the way of differences, except, like us, where's Walter Travel? We're part of the IntelliTravel network, which is actually one of the largest travel agencies in the United States. We get, sometimes we get group deals. So when we go to look at your cruise, IntelliTravel may have a group set up, or one of our consortium partners might have a group set up. So that's going to be a better deal. With Virgin Voyages right now, I can offer $100 sailor loot for every single booking that is the Sea Terrace or higher. That is through IntelliTravel. But for the most part, the cruise lines set the pricing. So the only way that a price could be better is one of two things. One website is not showing you the port fees and taxes, and the other one is, because you always got to remember, port fees and taxes are going to add, maybe $400 to that price that you're seeing. Or there is some sort of incentive that's being run right now between that cruise line and that travel agency. That's kind of rare. Usually it's a perk, like that $100 onboard credit. And then lastly, some of these super, super cheap websites will actually swallow the commission, or swallow part of the commission and just pass that on to you. And that's how they do it. They're banking on volume versus giving you quality service. So that's pretty much it. So you love your silver fan. I know. Oh, hey, thanks for the comment on the jewel. You loved it. Awesome. Hey, great question on TikTok. Do ships have dialysis centers? That seems to be coming up a lot. I should do a TikTok or YouTube on that soon. The answer is maybe. There is a website called dialysisatSea.com, all one word. And if you need dialysis on a cruise ship, you need to start there. So that website works with the various cruise lines. There are certain types of dialysis treatment that you can get on a ship, but there's only certain ship that you can do it on. And I believe this company coordinates getting the equipment onto the ship where it's needed. So the answer is maybe. You do have to start at dialysisatSea.com, or your travel agent can start there for you. And you have to get the information. So you can't go cruising on every single ship. There's only going to be certain ships that you can cruise on, and there might even be certain times that you can cruise on them. So start there, and they'll be able to help you. Peggy's trying to find a good cruise from Florida to Mexico. What do you suggest? Oh, gosh, there's so many of them. I mean, that's a Western Caribbean cruise. So you got Norwegian, Celebrity, Princess, Carnival, everybody goes there. So I don't know what you're looking for. That's one of the questions. That's one of the things that me as a travel agent that I do. I ask, well, what exactly are you looking for? Some people are looking for certain types of adventures. What are you looking for on the ship? If it's a family trip, Carnival, Disney, Royal Caribbean, NCL, those are the 4 big cruise lines for families. Maybe MSC as well. MSC's got a lot of family stuff going on. And if you're looking for a more adult experience, Princess, Virgin Voyages, certainly Virgin Voyages is adult only. Celebrity, Holland America. So I just saying, hey, what's a good cruise to Mexico? I don't know what you're looking for. Once I know what you're looking for, then I can tell you. But those are all great cruise lines that are all going to Mexico. You thought Viva was doing San Juan. It is. It is. It's sailing out of San Juan for its first season. You're doing your first cruise on the Radiant in June. Wow, that is so much fun. I love it. Thanks so much for sharing. You're doing your first Mex Riviera cruise in July. Oh, on the Panorama. I've got a family booked in July on the Panorama. She is actually, I didn't realize until we were researching it, she's actually the largest of the Vista class. I think she was the last of the Vista class as well before they started in on Mardi Gras Celebration and Jubilee. It looks like a beautiful ship, so have an amazing time. Gray has the Wonder book for November. Awesome. On the Bolt coaster for Carnival, for the price you pay, how many laps you get? 2. You get $15 on the Bolt, on the Carnival Mardi Gras. Celebration Jubilee, and you get 2 laps. So basically you go around and then you just keep right on going. So you don't stop between the laps. It's just 2 continuous laps. You're going on the Oasis next month. Have a great time. Oh, that's true. So Maureen brings up a really, really great point. If you have loyalty points with a cruise company, definitely let your travel agent know, especially Carnival. Carnival's really good about it. So what happens is, as Maureen says, you might get a better deal attached with your number. So when I have your very important fun person number, which is what Carnival has, I enter that into the booking engine. And what you guys don't see on the public side, you might see like maybe 2 or 3 choices. Oh, choose from one of these 3 offers. I see 7 or 8. And the amount that I see and the type that I see is based on your loyalty number. And that's the same with all the cruise lines. The pricing will change, or the offers will change based on, like, if you're a big casino player, I enter in your loyalty number, I'll see some casino offers that don't show up unless I enter in your number. So that's another way to get good deals. Make sure if you have cruised on a cruise line in the past, you give that information to your travel agent, and you just might get some better specials there too. Hello, Cape Cod. How are you? Good to see you. Looking to visit many cities in Mexico and Honduras for over 18 family members. Wow, that's amazing. Want fun and relax. Well, I think, with 18 family members, then you're probably going to be looking into Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, probably, because I'm betting that there's all ages going on. And depending on exactly what those people want to do, that's going to depend. And also, like, how important is the food? How important are the shows? How important are the pools? What exactly kind of activities do the family members want to do? I mean, if you've got 18 people, I would certainly be talking to a travel agent, whether it's us. I mean, feel free to contact us. Just click our logo, and all of our information is in there on how to get in touch with us, or contact a travel agent of your choice. But with that many people, it's going to be a lot easier working with a travel agent who can book everybody at once and then tie all the bookings together. You might even get a group rate. I mean, with 18 people, in general, you need 8 cabins, 16 people to get a group rate. So you might even be able to put a group together, depending on the cruise line. But I would definitely work with a travel agent. So yeah, either reach out to us or reach out to a travel agent of your choice and let them know, hey, I've got 18 people. I want to do this. I want to do that. We're booking our first wedding right now. I've got 31 people going on the Liberty of Seas as a group. We've got a group of about 22, 23 of us going on the Valiant Lady. This wedding is going to be around 30 people, maybe 40 people that we're going to book on Norwegian. So, working with a travel agent is a lot easier, especially if something happens, on this group that's going out on the Freedom of the Seas. It was originally on Liberty of the Seas, and for whatever reason, Royal Caribbean canceled the cruise about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And in 3 hours, I was able to move everybody from Liberty of the Seas over to Freedom of the Seas. If they all had to do that on their own, the ship might have sold out. Some of you might have gotten onto Freedom. The rest of you might not have. And this all came down about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So most people were working because I do this full time. I was able to jump right in. I got on the phone with Royal Caribbean, and within 3 hours, we had everybody moved over. So another good reason to work with a travel agent if something comes up and you need to change things around, it's really, really good. So you've sailed on the Mardi Gras and Celebration on a casino promo. Yeah, I mean, the casino promos, I got to say, Princess is really a good one. They're offering some really great offers. However, if they slip the offer under your door at the end of the cruise, boy, that department is just, that is not, those are not the easiest people to deal with. I will say that. If you get the offers via email electronically, I can just book those straight up through princess.com. Those are easy. But the ones that are slipped under the door seem to go through a different department, and they're not the easiest people to work with. So, Good question. Is the Carnival Liberty a good ship? My husband and I would like to book a balcony. So the Liberty was actually recently refurbished. I want to say it was 2021, and I only know this because another group cruise, we're possibly going to book a horror movie group on a cruise, and the Liberty was one of the ships we were looking at. So I want to say she was refurbished in 2021. She looks like a great ship. She's got all your typical Carnival stuff on it. We've not been on the Liberty itself. We've been on the Mardi Gras. But what I look for when I start looking into some of this stuff is when was the ship refurbished, what all is on it. It looks like a good ship. I can tell you, it looks like, I don't have personal experience on it, but it looks like a good ship. I would have no qualms at all about booking you on that ship. So, yeah. Listen, you booked with an agent. It was super easy for your first cruise. I tell you, it is, we've been sailing almost 20 years, and our very first cruise, we booked through a travel agent, and then we booked through that travel agent every single time for like 16, 17 years. Now we are travel agents, so we do it ourselves, obviously, but for every single cruise. I mean, it's nice when you build a relationship with a travel agent, so then they start to know you. And we start to, like, when I see some certain itineraries come up, I'll ping my clients and say, hey, this thing just came up. This looks interesting. It kind of seems to fit in your wheelhouse or what you like to do. What do you think? Or like we have a couple of agents, like even Sherry, who has been joining us on the YouTube. Sometimes she'll just reach out and say, hey, keep an eye out on something, or take a look at Europe, or take a look at this for us, just see what's out there. We spend a little time, go just see what's out there. So yeah, working with a travel agent is, to me, it's just so much easier, especially since it's free. I mean, come on, it's absolutely free. And we have the direct contact with the cruise lines and with the travel partners and with everything else. So good question. Is 2 years too far out to plan a cruise? No, not at all. If it's available, not at all, because one, you're going to get a really good deal. Cruise lines like it when you book early. So you're going to get probably one of the best deals on that ship. You might get some extra onboard credit, things like that. So no, if the cruise is available, we've got some clients booked on 2025 cruises right now. Mainly repositioning cruises are the ones that are up, because the cruise lines know when the ships are going to go from Europe to the US or back and forth. They may not have the itineraries yet in those locations, but they've at least got those, so they're selling them. So yeah, no, as soon as you know that you want to go on a particular cruise, especially if it's a one-off, some of these, like, I've been talking about Holland America with their Boston to the Caribbean and the Panama Canal. There's only 4 of those right now. So like, if it's like, oh yeah, I really want one of those, don't wait. How do you book with me? So on the TikTok side, you just simply click the logo, and then there's a link tree, and right in that link tree, the very first thing says book a time with Walter, or you go to where'swaltertravel.com and click on contact us. That's 2 ways to get in touch with us. Over on the YouTube side, the links are in the description. Just click the link. I've got an online calendar, so you just book a time that's convenient for you, and we hop on a call. We talk for about 15, 20 minutes, and then Rebecca and I go off and we research some options, and then we go from there. But that's how to book with us. And again, our services are 100% free. We do not charge you a thing. We get paid a commission from the travel partners. And by the way, that commission is baked into the price. So whether you book with us or you book directly with the travel partner, it's going to be the same price. They just keep the commission versus paying it to one of your travel advisors. But the big difference is, when you work with a travel advisor, we're independent. We don't represent one cruise line. So when you call a cruise line or you call a tour service, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that you book with them, because they have the best deal, they have the best offering. But when we're independent, we can, we will look at, Carnival versus Norwegian versus Royal, and present you options from all of them. So that is one of the really good things. So we don't have passports. I was told I need a copy of my marriage license along with your birth certificate. So if your driver's, well, no, you don't need your marriage license along with your birth certificate unless your name is different than what's on the driver's license. That's the big thing. So if you have a driver's license in one name and you got married and you haven't gotten a new driver's license, and you booked the cruise under your married name, you're going to have a marriage license to show why your name changed. So yeah, you will have to do that. 328 days until your cruise. Yay! But who's counting, right? Yay! Yes, Chrissy, thank you very much for that. My throat is definitely starting to get a little bit sore, but I'm good. It's been a very long week. We've been booking a lot of cruises. Y'all jammed us up right up until the end of the month because everybody knows. So let's see, if your last name matches your driver's license, you're going to need your driver's license, and you're going to need your birth certificate. Both. You need to bring them both, and it has to be your original birth certificate. If you have a passport, you only need a passport. But if you don't have a passport, driver's license, original birth certificate, and off you go. Yeah, as long as your name is the same. If your name is different, then you've got to bring that marriage certificate. So, Rachel, will you need to bring your passport for an Eastern Caribbean cruise? Technically, no. If you are going to Martinique as part of the cruise, which is really the Southern Caribbean, you do need a passport to get off the ship, but not necessarily to go. But on pretty much all Eastern Caribbean cruises, you do not. It's just a driver's license and a birth certificate. However, always check the FAQ of the various cruise lines just to make sure, or have your travel agent double check just to make sure. So over on YouTube, oh my goodness, you're debating about taking a Transpacific repositioning cruise. You're from Australia. Hello, Australia. Man, I absolutely love how we are just so connected. And I'm just sitting here in Florida talking to you guys down there. It's amazing. Is this a little ambitious considering it would be your first cruise? Wow. That's a big one. I don't know how long this one is, but it's going to be a long one, probably like 20 days. So the big thing to keep in mind about this, you are going to be on that ship for a long time. You're going to be on the ship out in the ocean, maybe for like 5, 6, maybe 8 days before you see land again. That is a rather ambitious cruise. Would I dissuade you from it? No, I mean, it depends on the ship too. It depends on the ship and what you're looking for. And if you're okay with everything that's going to be offered on that ship and you're not going to get bored in a couple of days or something like that, that's the biggest thing. What is the ship and what are you looking for? And does that ship deliver what you're looking for? And you're going to be okay with that for, 15, 18, 22 days. And knowing that, maybe 8, 10, 12 days of that, you're not going to touch land. So whatever's on that ship is what's going to keep you entertained. So it is ambitious, but, work with a local travel agent. You're down there in Australia, work with a local travel agent and tell them what you're trying to do, and make sure that ship, whatever that ship is going to match up. I mean, I'll be happy to talk to you about it. I can't book the cruise for you, but I'd be more than happy to talk to you at some point. You want to drop me an email? Again, you're over on YouTube, so the links are in the description. You can drop me an email and just tell me what you're thinking, and I'll be glad to reply. Absolutely. But that is an ambitious first cruise. I don't know that I could do that. We did 14 days. We did a back-to-back in the Caribbean on Princess. We did 7 days one way, came back to Fort Lauderdale, did 7 days the other way. That was a long cruise. So yes, that is a rather ambitious cruise. I mean, if you do it, please come join our Facebook group, our private Facebook group, Where's Walter Travel, on Facebook, the private group. We have a page and we have a private group. Again, links are in the description on the YouTube channel. Please come join it, because if you do take that cruise, I want to see the pictures. I want to hear all about it. All right, back over on TikTok. You're about to book a cruise to Alaska on the Norwegian Bliss. Is this a good first-time cruise? I'm going to be very honest. The ship is great. The Norwegian Bliss is great. But for Alaska, I always book my clients, or I recommend that my clients go on a smaller ship, because the Bliss has a lot of really cool things. But Alaska is a lot like a river cruise. You're porting almost every single day. You're in a port almost every single day. So there's not a lot of time to take advantage of all the things that are on the ship itself. Secondly, it's just a big ship, so it can't quite get into some place. In fact, it may have to tender in some places that the smaller ships can get into. So for Alaska, we go to Princess first, because they have really interesting itineraries, and they have relationships with the National Park Service and a lot of the other things that the other cruise lines do not. Holland America also has been doing it for a very, very long time. They're an outstanding cruise line in Alaska. So those are the first two that we lean into. Then I look at Celebrity. And again, the smaller ship. Now, Norwegian does have, I believe, I can't remember exactly, but I believe Norwegian may have a smaller ship going up there as well. I might look at that versus the Bliss. The Bliss is a great ship. It has so many things to do. But in Alaska is the star. The ship is not. You're not going to be on the ship that much. You've got, 10-hour days, 12-hour days in some cases that you're going to be on land. You're going to be on the ship for dinner. You're going to be on the ship to sleep, maybe to watch some shows in the evening. but I lean towards smaller ships in Alaska. So 48 days to your cruise. I love it. I love it. Where do I need to exchange dollars for local currency? Well, if you're going to the Caribbean, US dollars rule throughout the Caribbean. The only real big exception that I can think of is Martinique, where you do need euros to go there. But otherwise, I mean, you can do some exchange, not a lot, but you can do some exchanges on some of the ships. But it's best really to go to a local bank that deals with currency exchange before you leave. You're probably going to get the best rates there. But if you are going to the Caribbean, US dollars rule throughout the Caribbean. So, so many cruises went down the rabbit hole. You know what? There are a lot of cruises and you can go way down the rabbit hole. We do it all the time. I mean, you know, my problem with being a travel agent is I want to go on every single trip with y'all. There are some amazing cruises that y'all are booking. There's some amazing travel. You know, we do much more than just cruises. You know, we do land tours. We do all inclusives. We do everything. In fact, over on YouTube, I'm showing you. We got Scotland, Ireland, and more. So you talk about going down a rabbit hole. Start looking at the land tours. Oh my God! I mean, it's like everything under the sun. Plus, we have travel partners that will put, you know, a unique itinerary together, like we did for one client who said, "Hey, I want to go to Germany. I'd like to go to Italy. You know, the cruise is going to end in Barcelona, so we have a 10-day cruise on Celebrity. But then around that, we put a custom European tour around that." And I was just like, "Man, this is so much fun. I want to go with you guys." So yeah, there is a major rabbit hole of cruises and travel and all that. But that's why, you know, you work with a travel agent. You know, one of the things with working with a travel agent, whether it's us or somebody else, we'd love to be your travel agent. We're having so much fun doing this. I think that's one of the reasons why our clients like working with us, because I'm like this when I'm talking to you about your travel. But one of the things that we'll do, I mean, when we start the research for any client, we're going to find like 15 or 20 cruises, you know, or 15 or 20 options. And even Rebecca and I are like, man, so what do we do? And we'll narrow it down to 4 to present to you, but then we've got these extra, but we try to narrow it down based on what you say you really want. Here's the ships, here's the itineraries, here's what we would recommend, here's 4 to choose from. So we at least try to narrow it down for you, and then if we need to keep going, we keep going. So it's not impossible. Just work with a travel agent, that's all. Sherry, you've been to Alaska twice on Princess, and you like Princess is it. I mean, Princess is the gold standard for Alaska. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. We've been working on a 2024 European trip with Sherry and her family, and she's thanking us for, yeah, you know, and one of the things about Sherry is like they just haven't been able to decide, and we've actually gone back to the well a couple of times and pulled some more, and she's like, you know what, they just don't quite work. Could you find something else? And we do. And then she kind of zeroed in on Israel. She said, you know, I'd really like to maybe have something that includes Israel. Okay, so now we focus. So I think we've been through the process maybe 3 times now with Sherry, and that's what we do. You know, Sherry doesn't have to think about it. Our clients don't have to think about it. It's like we present something, after they think about it for a little bit, it's like, you know what, we'd really like to, okay, we go and get that thing for you. And then you don't have to go down the rabbit hole. We'll go down the rabbit hole for you, and then we'll try to find, you know, the best thing for you. Thank you, Sherry. That is so kind of you to say that. And over on the YouTube side, I'm going to put our group cruise back up, and I'm going to remind everybody watching, we have a group cruise on the Valiant Lady, almost all inclusive. So you got all meals, Wi-Fi, gratuity, soft drinks, group exercise classes. Those are just standard on every single Virgin Voyages cruise. Those are included. If you book with us by April 11th, you will get 45% off the second sailor plus a $600 bar tab. So that is your specialty coffees, your cocktails, and your mocktails, both on the ship and at the Bimini Beach Club, which is their private resort. We're going to Puerto Plata, San Juan, St. Croix, and the Bimini Beach Club. It will be an 8-night cruise sailing November 18th from Miami. I will say, I've said it before, this cruise is getting close to a sellout. There are only sea terraces left, which are the balconies, and only on 3 decks. Sea terraces are like, I don't know, six decks or so. There's only 3 decks left, certain amount of cabins on each deck. So that sailing will probably sell out soonish. So if you're thinking about coming along with us on that cruise, please do. Favorite show at sea? Oh, that's a good question, Andrew. You know, we were just on the Symphony of the Seas. that was our first water show. That was kind of cool. I will say Hairspray was a heck of a lot of fun on the symphony. Princess does original shows, and their rock opera was a lot. We knew all the songs. That was awesome. I think Princess has some of the best original shows, and they're very underrated. They're really, really good. And who else? Yeah, so Royal Caribbean had some really good original shows as well. But I think Princess actually consistently has some of the best shows, and Norwegian has really good shows as well. In fact, they have 6 running right now. Beetlejuice is going to be on the Viva. Now I want to go on the Viva even more because Beetlejuice, the musical from Broadway, is coming onto the Viva. Good morning, Twin Flames. How are you? What's your advice with feeling guilty about being on vacation and not being able to enjoy it? Why would you not be able to enjoy it? I mean, come on, it would be a lot of fun. Caribbean cruise, cash or credit card. Cash is always king, obviously, but I don't like to carry a lot of cash. So credit card is certainly a lot easier. Just check with that credit card and see if there's going to be any conversion things and all those fees that they like to add on. Just make sure that you're not going to get a bunch of fees tacked on. But certainly credit cards are easy. You don't want to flash a lot of cash, not just the Caribbean, but anywhere. If you're over in Europe and places like that too, you don't want to flash a lot of cash because you're a tourist. You're very obviously a tourist. So a credit card is certainly easier. Have we ever had our cruise canceled or rescheduled due to weather or a hurricane? Personally, no. We have had a completely different itinerary. We sailed on the Celebrity Equinox right as Hurricane Irma was coming in, a Category 5 hurricane, massive hurricane in the Caribbean. In fact, our family and friends thought we were nuts because we were getting on the ship 3 days before the hurricane hit St. Thomas. St. Thomas was actually our first scheduled stop in 3 days. We would have been there the day the hurricane hit. So instead, we went straight south to Curacao. So we got under the hurricane. And then we basically essentially followed Hurricane Irma back to Miami, and we had Hurricane Maria behind us. And it was the best weather we've ever had. And that was when I learned that the weather after a hurricane is incredibly calm for, like a week or so because the hurricane clears out all the weather. So we had glass seas, beautiful weather, and we hit all but 2 of the islands we were supposed to hit, just in a different order, obviously, because the ship had to do different things. So yeah, so that would technically be a rescheduled. Now, until the hurricanes last year that came through, that kind of shut down Miami and Fort Lauderdale and all that, it's rare for cruises to be canceled because of a hurricane. But we did actually have a couple that were canceled, but they can be rescheduled. The ship can't come back. So this one's going to be extended, and then the next one going out is going to be shortened or things like that. So we have not personally had it, but I was talking earlier, the Liberty of the Seas, Royal Caribbean just canceled it for routine maintenance. It's 1 3-day cruise that they decided to cancel, and it was the one that I had my group booked on. So I've had that happen for sure. Who had the best security? Oh, I can't answer that question if any one had better security than others. So our dear friend Stephanie Mullen, who is the Sean and Steph channel now. I mean, just one of the most lovely people you will ever meet in your life. We're incredibly honored to not only be her friend, but we are now a partner and sponsor of the Sean and Steph channel. Stephanie, since we lost Sean, has been traveling extensively as a solo female, and she's been starting to post more and more about that and some of the issues and some of the concerns about traveling solo. So first of all, I would certainly subscribe to the Sean and Steph channel on YouTube. That's SEAN and Steph, STEF. I would certainly subscribe to her and check out what she's doing because she is an amazing human being, first of all. And by the way, if anybody's watching this and you do reach out to us to book, let us know you were referred by Steph, because part of the sponsorship is anybody who is referred to us by Stephanie, she gets part of the commission from us. And that is for the life of you as a client. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm kind of hinting to all of you to let us know that you were referred by Stephanie, and she will get part of the commission as part of the sponsorship. So in terms of security, you do need to be aware of your surroundings. I've read some instances of situations with women on cruise ships. I've not been on a ship and experienced or heard about it on a ship. I've seen some stories about it. In general, cruise ships are quite safe. It's when you're in port. Certainly, if you're going to be walking around by yourself, you need to be very, very aware of your surroundings. And that's true, man or woman. If you're by yourself, you're a tourist. You kind of stand out. They know who's a tourist. People who are targeting you, they know if you're a tourist. They know if you're not a tourist. Doesn't matter how hard you try to blend in. They got eyes on you. So certainly you want to be part of a group if you're out and about in a port. And Stephanie is always trying to make sure that she's with somebody. She made a very interesting comment in Nassau. She went to the Margaritaville water park and spent the whole day there. Happened to be sailing with Ben and David, who are also amazing cruise vloggers. And she said on the walk back, she probably would not have felt too safe walking back by herself. It was starting to get dark. And, a lot of that area is under construction, so it's not in the best condition. And she said if she didn't have Ben and David walking with her, she might have felt a little bit, so you definitely got to be aware of your surroundings. I know there are some amazing bloggers and vloggers who are single females who are traveling and promoting great information. I don't have any of them offhand, but that's my biggest advice, to be very aware of your surroundings. Great question. And I do want to talk to one of the things Stephanie and I are going to be doing once she gets done with her project. She's an amazing Disney artist. So if you come down to Walt Disney World, you will see her work at Walt Disney World, and actually some other places soon as well, I hope. But she and I are going to be doing some content together, and that's actually what I want to lean into, is creating content about traveling as a single female. So watch for that coming. I don't know when. I don't want to say it's coming soon. I don't know when we're going to be able to do it because she's incredibly busy, but hopefully one day soon. So Gary E. Muster coming back. E. Muster hasn't left some of the ships. It's coming back to NCL. So, Sheila, what cruise ship has the best food? That's easy. If you're talking overall food, well, there's two, really. Virgin Voyages, to me, it's like flat out best. And in part, because everything is included. So, every single restaurant, everything is included on the ship. There are a few items that are called treat yourself. So if you want to spend a little bit more, you can. But Rebecca and I will go a full week on Scarlet Lady or Valiant Lady. We're not going to spend a dime on food, and we're going to go to the steakhouse, and we're going to have the seafood, and so the best. The second best overall food is going to be Disney Cruise Line. Disney Cruise Line is an outstanding cruise line for adults only. They do a great job. I know it's weird, but it's true. They have a great adults only area. They do a really good job making sure that it is adults only in the pool area, and then you've got a whole entertainment district as well. So those are the two with the best. Now, in terms of the included food on a mainstream cruise line, probably Celebrity Princess, especially Princess main dining room really impressed me on the Sky Princess. I was blown away. I was like, wow, they've upped their game on the Sky Princess for sure. So it was really, really good. And then Celebrity is quite good as well. And when it comes to specialty dining, Norwegian Cruise Line actually has some of the best specialty dining. I think their main dining room and their buffets are weak, but the specialty dining, especially Food Republic, is one of my favorite restaurants at sea on the Norwegian ship. And Disney Remy on the Fantasy, still one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. Just absolutely amazing. So, Rachel, what was my job before being a travel agent? Well, for about 25 years, I was in the creative field. I was in television production, documentary filmmaking, had my own creative agency in Atlanta for about 20 years or so. If you're fans of Alton Brown and Good Eats, I was on that crew, seasons 9 through 12, the editor and animator and all that good stuff. I have produced a lot of original content across the digital fields. For the past 8 years or so, I was a marketing executive developing internal creative agencies for various companies, leading social media campaigns, marketing campaigns, original content, all of that good stuff. So I've taken everything I learned from that and I applied it to becoming a travel agent. And by the way, anybody watching this who maybe thinking about it, hey, maybe I'd like to be a travel agent. What's involved in being a travel agent? And technically, I am a travel advisor. Where's Walter Travel is my company, and we are part of the IntelliTravel network. And IntelliTravel is actually the travel agency to all of our bookings and everything. go through them. And if any of you are watching this and go, man, you know, I've kind of thought about it. Maybe I'd like to be a travel agent. I don't know. Certainly reach out. We're talking to some folks right now. I mean, basically, you are your own independent company, and then you work as part of this network. So if you're interested in it, I've actually talked to a couple people this week about this very thing. Yeah, we're having fun right now. Is Rebecca and I are having a great time doing this. But that's what I used to do. I used to do television, film production, and marketing. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Man, we got a lot of people. Thank you for all the likes, people on TikTok. Y'all are amazing. We're oh gosh, almost 4,000 likes. Y'all are amazing. Absolutely amazing. So a friend of yours looks like Aaron Brown's gotten you some tables. You know, when you got a lookalike, you got to take advantage of those lookalikes, right? Absolutely amazing. So now, you know, we talked a little bit about a few things on here. I do want to run by just a few. I'm going to while I'm waiting for some more questions here, I'm going to kind of get on the little sales box just a little bit. But a reminder, Virgin Voyages, all adults, 45% off second sailor, and you can get up to a $600 bar tab, but you got to book by April 11th. We are full service travel agency here, and we handle all of your needs, both, you know, live, cruise ship, this, that, and the other. And our services are 100% free. So taking a breath. And next Sunday, we will be, I think we're going to be live. I hope we're going to be live from the Scarlet Lady. Now, we don't board until at least 1:30 or 2 o'clock. So it's going to be a little bit later in the afternoon. I don't think I'll do a live earlier than that because we're going to be somewhere in Miami. In fact, we might still be driving to Miami. We're going to drive down same day. I know we're going to be breaking our own rule, driving in on the same day, but you know, we're going to live dangerously next Sunday. Yes, it will be an Easter cruise. I didn't even think about the fact that it's Easter, but yeah, we're going to be on a 5-night, I think it's a 5-night cruise on the Scarlet Lady, because I just could not wait until November to eat that food. I'm telling you, people, the food is so flipping good on the Virgin Voyages. And you know, Virgin Voyages is one of the highest paid crews in the industry, as I found out when I was on the ship, and the crew gets Wi-Fi. So the crew said getting the free Wi-Fi was like the biggest thing, because you know they can keep in touch with their family and friends and whatnot. Other crews like they actually charge them for the Wi-Fi. I think that's wrong. I think they should give them, you know, they don't pay them enough as it is. They should give them Wi-Fi for free. So Aquarius fella, hello, how are you? Are you planning on going on the Royal Caribbean Icon of the Seas when it comes out? I am planning to go on it. I don't know if I'll go in 2024 because, you know, the pricing is rather premium right now. But yeah, she looks ridiculous. She looks like so much fun. If you did not see the latest videos that came out with the nightlife, wow, some really cool nightlife. And if you did not realize, that big aqua dome that's up in the front is not just the Aqua Theater. That is a whole venue up there. And what I'm noticing about the Icon, I'm seeing a lot of celebrity. I am seeing shades of celebrity cruises coming in to Royal Caribbean, especially with the Icon. I mean, they're bringing the infinite balcony in. Some of the stylings in that aqua dome really remind me of celebrity cruises. So it looks like they're trying to lean in. Yes, this is going to be a big, crazy ship for families, but we're not forgetting that we've got a lot of adults on here too. So you got that big swim up bar. You've got some beautiful venues coming in at night. So yes, I would like to go on the Icon of the Seas. I don't know if we'll go in 2024 because it's going to be expensive. But yes, I absolutely, positively want to go on that ship. So recommendation for Mardi Gras restaurants. So Rudy Sea Grill, absolutely the best restaurant on the entire ship. Amazing seafood restaurant. If you have a special event or something coming up, and I want to say $45, $48 per person, well worth the price of admission going there. Flat out the best. And then Shack Chicken is my other favorite on that ship, along with Blue Iguana. We did not do the steakhouse on it. Guys, Pig and Anchor was okay. The night that we had that filet was amazing. Certainly go over to my YouTube channel. I have an entire, I think, 40 minutes of as we eat our way across the Mardi Gras. So if you want to see all my recommendations, just go on the YouTube channel and look for the title that says "We Ate Almost Everything on the Carnival Mardi Gras." And I've also got a cabin tour and some other stuff. I think I've got like a 12 video playlist from the Mardi Gras, something like that. So yeah. What do we think about the Carnival Miracle ship? Oh, and any advantages Cloud9 on Mardi Gras? Um, that's up to you whether you think the spa services are worth it or not. I will tell you that the included Serenity area up in the front, absolutely worth it. 21 and over. Plus, you've got your own pool and you've got a salad bar for lunch. That's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So I will say that's worth it because it's free, it's included. But in terms of Cloud9, you have to decide yourself. The Carnival Miracle ship we have never sailed. So, and I don't have the stats on it right now. What I look at with Carnival, especially, with their older ships, they kind of get maligned a little bit because of the older ship, but they have been putting a lot of money into renovating the ship. So when the ships go in to be repainted, they're all getting that blue livery. They're going in, they may not be doing a full renovation to the entire ship, but they are going in and refreshing the ship. So that's what I look at. When was the last time that ship was refurbished? So first of all, I'd take a look. Does she have the blue livery? If she has the blue livery on the hull, then I know, okay, she's gone in recently and at least gotten something. And then I go and do some research and see what exactly they did. Sometimes they don't tell you. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, she went in for a dry dock. She got a refresh. They don't really tell you what they did. But if she's been in the dry dock within the past, 2 or 3 years to get her blue livery, then it should be a good, clean ship and ready to go. But I'd have to do some research on exactly, what kind of shape she's in today. But we did talk about the Carnival Liberty earlier, and that ship was just recently redone. And I actually proposed that for a group cruise recently. So I know Carnival gets maligned a lot, but they are a very good cruise line. I mean, they have incredibly happy staff. They're short staffed on some of their cruise lines and whatnot. But my feeling is if you don't like a cruise line, there's no reason to knock it. Just go find another cruise line. There's plenty of cruise lines out there. There's plenty of ships out there. But if you don't like a cruise line, don't tell everybody, I hate this cruise line, blah, blah. So what? Move on to the next one. Tell everybody which one you do like. Good morning, Los Angeles. How are you? It's good to see you. And Rachel went on the Miracle in July 2022. How'd you like it, Rachel? Was it a good ship? Was it a fun ship? And the thing for me about Carnival, it's not the best food, and I'm a foodie. I like to have really good food on a ship. The one thing that really shocked me on the Carnival Mardi Gras, by the way, somebody asked about it, was the fortune teller bar. I thought it was going to be a gimmick. It was the best bar, I think, on the entire ship. It was better than the alchemy bar. I was actually, everybody's like, oh, you got to go to the alchemy bar. I was like, it's okay. But the fortune teller bar, I thought was actually better. Some of the decorations were tacky, but overall, the Miracle was good. Well, some of those older ships, you look at them and you're like, wow, man, these are from the 90s or the 80s or whatever. There are some really hilarious, like time warp things on them, but good. You had a good time. Favorite celebrity cruise? Good question. All of them have been fantastic. I mean, the Equinox is an amazing ship. I brought these over here just in case we talked about it, but the Equinox has actual glass blowing on the ship. So Rebecca made the purple one and I made this one. So I'll have my old fashions in this sometime. So what a truly unique experience on the Celebrity Equinox. I think it's on the Solstice and the Eclipse. You can do glass blowing on the ship itself. Now, Celebrity, I like their 10-night Southern Caribbeans. Those are really nice if you're talking about the Caribbean. And then they have some amazing, I'm at the point now where 7 nights is not enough. So like this 5-night that we're about to go on the Scarlet Lady, way too short, but that's all we have the option to do. But I like the Southern Caribbean celebrity cruises that go down, they get down into the ABCs, they go further down there. So those are the ones I like. You just came back from a 7-day cruise on a Carnival Panorama and you enjoyed it a lot. That's a nice looking ship. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I believe that is the final of the Vista class ships. I know she's the biggest of the Vista class ships. I've got multiple clients booked on that ship. She looks amazing. I would like to come out onto the West Coast and see that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Do we ever decorate our door? The only time we really did that was on the Disney Fantasy, because everybody does it. And our friend really did it for us. It was our wedding anniversary, and she went all out. This woman, our dear friend, brought hundreds of magnetic butterflies. Hundreds of them. You're not supposed to decorate. We had a cabin on the very, very back of the ship. We had an aft balcony. one of the best balconies we've ever had. It was so big, such beautiful cabin. And you're only supposed to decorate your door. Well, our friend Alice went ahead and threw them up onto the ceiling. She threw them everywhere, and the steward didn't touch them because it looked so beautiful. And then over the course of the week of our cruise, the butterflies were migrating down the hall. It was really, you see them on different doors. You see them going down the way. So that was really, really fun. But that's really the only time we've ever decorated our door. And in general, we don't. We just don't really do it. Virgin Voyages, they don't want you to do it. So they say they're going to take the stuff down off your door. I think they've left it up, but Virgin Voyages discourages that. But yeah, a lot of people, I mean, man, some people I'll tell you what, on Carnival, they get down, they get into it. So amazing. Over on YouTube, Michael is asking, have we been on the Edge class with celebrity? If so, your impression. You're on the Edge Sky Suite. Ooh, you're on the Edge Sky Suite. That's a nice cabin. We have not. We have not yet. That is like our next thing. In fact, if you haven't been with us before, one of our plans is to have our 30th vow renewals, and we'd like to do it with Captain Kate. So whatever ship she happened to be on at that time, I think it's in 2 years, that's what we would like to do. Our good friend Stephanie, we talked about her a little while ago. She hadn't done the vlogs yet, but a few months ago, she was on the Beyond. And what she said was, not only was that ship one of the most beautiful ships she's ever been on, but she said there was something about that crew. And it must start with Captain Kate, that it was, all crews are amazing. They take care of you, they smile, they do whatever they can. And she said there was something about that crew that was next level. And she said it must come down from Captain Kate, just the way she is. And she still continues to do that thing where she's at the gangway, shaking hands or fist bumping everybody or saying thank you to every guest that they leave, which is amazing. But what I will say is the Edge class looks flipping amazing. The solarium is like our go-to place. We've been on the Solstice class so far, and what they've done with the solariums on the Edge class looks absolutely amazing. So I will say they've taken it to the next level. And the fact that you're in a Sky Suite makes me incredibly jealous. You're going to have an amazing time. So no firsthand yet, but I have put multiple clients on the Edge class. Like I said, Stephanie was just on it. Not a single complaint. In fact, the only problem is I put a couple of first-time cruisers on the Edge class. That was probably a mistake because there's really not much to go from there. But thank you for that question. I really do appreciate it. Hey, Michael, if you're not in our Facebook group yet, there's a link in the description on YouTube. And for those of you over on TikTok, just click my logo and there's a link there to join our Facebook group, our private group. Please, Michael, come on over and join us. And the whole reason why that group exists was so that you guys can share your experiences. I want to see what you guys are doing. And I'd love to see you come on over, join us, and maybe share some of your experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's the thing about this. We share information. There's good on every cruise line, and then there's really annoying and bad on every cruise line, and different ships too. So yeah, please come on over and join us. So somebody puts fake money on the door to see if people would take it. That's hilarious. Question, will we be going on the MSC World America in 2025? I would like to. The World Europa looks amazing. If you don't know what we're talking about, MSC Cruises is already the third largest cruise line in the world in terms of capacity. They could be the second largest within the next 5 years when they're done building all these ships. But MSC is coming on strong. So they built the World Europa, which has a YF, which is basically the Oasis class. The Oasis class has what's called a YF because it's open in the middle, so it kind of forms a Y when you come to the back. And they built the World Europa, which is currently sailing. I know it launched in Dubai. It might be in Europe right now, but then World America is coming, and she is going to sail out of, I think, Miami, that brand new terminal that they're building in Miami. And she is basically an Oasis class size ship. I don't know if she's quite as wide as the Oasis class, but she is a big ship. And I would very much like to sail on that ship. Absolutely. We have not sailed MSC yet. We only live about an hour from Port Canaveral. So my goal is in May or June, we're going to run down to Port Canaveral and get on whatever ship is sailing out of there so we can see it firsthand. People have a love-hate relationship with that cruise line, so I need to see it firsthand. But absolutely, I would like to go on the World America when she comes over in 2025. So Shelly is saying we have free dinners. Your question is, do we pay and get credit back? I'm sorry, Shelly, I'm not quite following your question. You have free dinners. Do you pay and get credit back? I'm not quite following that question. If you're talking about that you have like a dinner package that includes meals on the ship, you will not pay and get credit back. That will automatically be credited to your account. Your bill will be zero. So I think that might be your question. You took your girlfriend on a Mardi Gras with an extended balcony. We went on another one, and she asked why it was so small. Well, that's the thing. The balconies on the newer ships have gotten really small and tight. The extended balconies on the Mardi Gras, I just put a family on the Carnival Jubilee, and I purposely got the extended balcony because that's what we got. And they're you can see the regular balconies when you're out there. You're like, wow, they're tight. But that's pretty much the way it is on all cruise lines now. And I think that's why Celebrity kind of started going to this infinite balcony thing. One, it makes the ship cleaner and more aerodynamic. And the other thing it did was it actually allows them to have a bigger balcony space, if you will. It's basically a porch inside your cabin. But yeah, the standard balcony, that's not just a Mardi Gras. That's pretty much all newer ships have a very small, it's just big enough for a couple of chairs out there, and that's it. So you're going to be on the inaugural of the World America in 2025. Wow. Well, good luck. I hope it actually happens. I always recommend that people do not take the inaugural because you have a 50-50 chance that it's actually going to sail. Especially, in these days, even before the pandemic, you had about a 70-30 chance that it was going to sail. Since the pandemic, there's only a couple of ships. I think the Mardi Gras might be one that actually sailed on time, but a lot of ships, they've had to cancel their inaugural cruises because they're just not ready. I like to sail about a month. Well, now I really like to sail about 3 months after a new cruise ship launches because those first 3 months, they're figuring everything out. So if everybody else wants to be the guinea pigs and go for it, go for it. But I like to come on about 3 months later because at that point, they've got the dinners figured out. They've got the drinks figured out. They've got the shows figured out. That's what I like to do. But man, live dangerously. Go for the inaugural. Anna, do I know a great cruise from Los Angeles? You're raising your 13-year-old grandson and you're active. I don't know what you're looking for, but you've got most of the major cruise lines sailing out of Los Angeles. Different times of the year, you're going to have different ships. Predominantly, you're going to sail down to Mexico, you're going to sail to Hawaii, or you're going to sail up the coast of California. So I can't tell you what a great cruise is because I don't know exactly what you're looking for. I have booked multiple clients on Mexican Riviera. I booked clients on the Hawaii cruise, and I booked a bunch on Hawaii cruises, or excuse me, on Alaska cruises. Because if you're in LA, it's a much shorter flight than flying, say, from the East Coast. So if you're really active, I would look at Alaska. Be honest with you, in 2023 is the year to go to Alaska because 2024 the prices are definitely higher than they are in 2023, or at least of what we're seeing. Colette was on here earlier. We saved Colette something like $2,000, same cabin, same cruise in 2023 versus 2024. So if you're active and you're on the West Coast, I would actually recommend looking at Alaska because Alaska is amazing. Staying in the Haven aft balcony for the first time on the Escape. What are must tries? Well, on the Escape, they have Food Republic. I love Food Republic. But of course, you're going to have your own restaurant in there. You're going to have your own bar. You're going to have your own lounge in the Haven. So, yeah, I don't know if you're even going to want to leave that area because it is a ship within a ship. But in terms of the restaurant, Food Republic, I think it's the best restaurant on the entire ship. Bayamo, Ocean Blue, whatever it's called, is a very good seafood restaurant. And we actually had a very good dinner at Cagney. But on the Escape, we went to Food Republic 3 times during our cruise. It was really, really good. Have we done a cruise to the ABC Islands and your thoughts? We have definitely been to at least Aruba and Curacao. I don't know that we've been to Bonaire yet, but the ABCs are lovely. They're gorgeous. And I've said it on here a couple of times where Bonaire, especially according to Rebecca, who loves to snorkel, she said Bonaire actually is supposed to have some of the best snorkeling in the world. So I love them, especially from Florida, because you get about 4 sea days, maybe 5 sea days, depending on the itinerary and where you're going. But the ABC Islands are stunning. So you bought okay, I see, Shelly. You bought the Premier package that comes with 2 specialty dinners. Correct. So when you go to those dinners, you're basically, I think the host is going to ask you, do you want to use one of your dinners? Because you have a choice of which ones you want to use. Make sure when you use those free dinners, you're at the most expensive restaurants. You know, you don't want to waste them. So if you get a restaurant that's $65 and a restaurant that's $35, use it for the $65 restaurant. So because you can decline and say, no, I'm going to pay for this one. I want to save my free one for another dinner. You know, because there are different prices on those restaurants. So make sure when you do use those free ones, use them for the most expensive restaurants. So, oh, thank you for the advice in there. You see many posts about how you have a choice to pay the gratuities. Why would people not pay this? Because they're mean? I don't know. I don't know why you would not pay the gratuities, because the main thing about those hotel gratuities is there's a lot of people behind the scenes that you don't see. You see your room steward every single day, but that room steward is supported by hundreds of people down in the bowels of a ship who are doing the laundry, who are doing the trash, who are running the sewer systems, who are getting our water clean. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and your gratuities go down the line to those people. So you should not ever turn off those gratuities, really. On your husband bucket list. Oh, is Alaska on your husband bucket list? Well, reach out. We've been booking a lot of Alaska. And again, you know, just to toot my own horn, we are travel agents, and our services are free. If you're watching us on TikTok right now, just simply click that logo, and there will be a link tree of how to get in touch with us. We have an online calendar. We'll set up a 15, 20-minute call so I can get some information. And then we'll go find some cruises for you. If you're over on the YouTube side, the links are in the description to set up a calendar chat with us. We love talking to you guys. We love planning this stuff out. I mean, we're planning our first wedding. I'm so excited about this one. Oh, my God. And if you've never done a wedding on a cruise line, the cruise lines actually have either a department or a third party that specifically has connections with all the islands. Like this person wants to do that Caribbean wedding. They want to be on the beach. They want to have the reception. So the reception itself is going to be on the ship, but the wedding will be on the beach, you know, with the photographer, and it's going to be that quintessential Caribbean wedding. So I cannot wait. So you're going to Alaska in August. Can I recommend a good wildlife excursion? I can recommend 3. In Juneau, Harv and Marv. That's the name of them, Harv and Marv whale watching. Smaller boats, great people. In Skagway, Temsco. Temsco, Temsco helicopters. They have a dog sled camp helicopter tour, and that actually takes you up into the mountains where there's snow. Skagway has other dog sled tours right there, but you're going to be on wheels on a dirt road. You're not going to be in the snow. So this is a helicopter tour to the dog sled. Now, it could get canceled because of low clouds. If it gets canceled because of low clouds, they'll give you an option, a refund, or they'll take you to a glacier where you actually land on the glacier and you spend some time on the glacier. That's what we did. Amazing. And then in Ketchikan, look up, I think it's called Island Wings, Captain Michelle. She is pretty much world famous as one of the safest and best bush pilots up in Ketchikan. We specifically booked her because of her safety record. Now, the day that we went there, again, the clouds were amazingly low. It rained something like 300 days a year in Ketchikan. We did not get to go. And that's one of the other things that Captain Michelle does. We saw planes taking off. They were going up into the clouds. And Captain Michelle, you know, told us on the phone, 1, that's extremely dangerous. 2, you can't see anything. So she said, I'm not going to charge you to go up in the air and not see anything. So those are the 3 that I would recommend. And Harv and Marv, when we came back from the whale watching, we stopped off, I think it was the Mendenhall Glacier. So we got like 20 minutes to take some photos and stuff of the Mendenhall Glacier. It was really good, really, really good. So thoughts on Faster to the Fun? I really don't have thoughts on that. Just because to me, I haven't really looked into it more, but I think it's just priority to get on the ship. And I don't know that that's really worth paying for. Whereas like the Key on Royal Caribbean, you get priority, plus you get embarkation lunch, plus you get Wi-Fi, plus you get, you know, there's a lot of other things to it. So Faster to the Fun. Can you join Rebecca and I for the 30th anniversary cruise? I haven't decided whether that's going to be a group cruise or not. That's up to Rebecca, whether she wants everybody to come along. I think it'd be a hoot to turn that into a group cruise and have a bunch of people come along. But, you know, Rebecca, she's very quiet. So, you know, she may or may not want it. I was actually impressed that she allowed us to sell the Thanksgiving cruise as a group cruise, which I'm going to pop that back up on YouTube. but that's going to be a lot of fun. So we have, I think I said we got like 22 or 23 people coming on that cruise. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We just booked one of our longtime supporters on TikTok and YouTube. So excited to have him coming along. And he is celebrating a 30th anniversary with his husband. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We have a 30th anniversary coming on that cruise. So suddenly that cruise has turned into a party. It was just going to kind of be, hey, we're all just kind of hanging out, but now we're going to have a party. I've told Virgin Voyages we need to have a celebration. We need to do something. So yeah. It's a very good question on TikTok. Why don't cruise companies just increase the price and not call it gratuity? People will pay the price. So Virgin Voyages did that. Virgin Voyages did this exact thing. And what I appreciate about Virgin Voyages, your gratuities and your Wi-Fi are included just automatically. They just raise the cruise fare. And all of your meals are included. Your soft drinks are included. And Virgin Voyages is not ridiculously expensive. It does cost more than some of the other cruise lines, but you look at what you're getting versus what you have to add on the other cruise line, it's really, really close. So yeah, I think, cruise lines could just raise their fares by say $20 per person and, just call it a day and just say, hey, your gratuities are included. But right now they're not, and people are doing it. People will pay for it. We encourage our clients to go ahead and prepay them so they're out of the way. They're just done. They're out of the way when you get on the cruise ship. So when you get on the cruise, your cruise is paid for. There's no extra fees that you have to pay. But yeah, I would like to see some cruise lines start throwing it in there. It is part of packages. So like Princess Plus is a very good package. You get the Wi-Fi, the gratuities, and the drinks package, up to $15 drinks. I think that's one of the best packages out there of all the cruise lines besides Virgin Voyages putting it in. That Princess Plus is a really, really good deal because your drinks about $27 a day per person. Once you take out the gratuities and the Wi-Fi, that's actually a really good deal. But yeah, I would love to see the cruise line just simply roll the gratuities in. Like, you know what? It's not even an option. They're in there, done, out of it. Yes. What's up with the new fan policy? We've talked about that quite a bit. If you haven't seen, all personal fans are banned on Norwegian, according to the new prohibited list. And I've said a lot about it already. Let's see, you have the Premier package we have, but on the app it says the Plus will change that when paid in full. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand. If you got the Premier package when you booked the cruise, it should show up as the Premier package, but it is possible that however yours was booked, it may not show up, but it should show up as the Premier package. It may wait until final payment until it shows. So yeah. Have we been on MSC? Not yet. That's the next one. May or June. That's my plan. We live an hour from Port Canaveral, so I just want to run down to Port Canaveral and get on whatever ship is over there. Hey, Kenneth, over on YouTube. How you been, man? Haven't seen you for a while. I hope all is well. I can't wait to see you on a cruise ship again, my friend. Your photos are awesome. So yeah. You got to come with us on a cruise, man. We need to all cruise together. I want to cruise with like everybody that's in our Facebook group. I really do. I want to go out. I wish we could get just like a massive group cruise and get all of us together. Kind of like what Tony does over at Lolita Loca. He gets like a couple hundred folks out there. That would be a lot of fun to get the entire Facebook group out there. We'd have to plan that like 2 years out probably. But yeah, over back on TikTok, we have not been on MSC. People have a love-hate relationship with it, so we really need to get on board one of those ships. So yeah, we're going to run down to Port Canaveral one of these days and just hop on a ship. Royal or Carnival, which do I prefer? Yes. It just depends on what you're looking for. Because keep in mind, too, I've talked about this earlier, Royal Caribbean has really different experiences. If you go down to the really, really small ships, that is a very adult-centric, very interesting itineraries. If you go up to the big family style ship, you've got your Voyager class, you got your Quantum class, you got your Oasis class. Even those are completely different experiences. It just depends on what you're looking for. I think both cruise lines are outstanding. I think if you just want to talk food and only food, then Royal gets an edge on that. I think Royal Caribbean has more and better food on their ship, but you go to the Mardi Gras celebration, there's so much food included, including Shack Big Chicken, which the best chicken sandwich ever. I don't care what you say about Chick-fil-A. Shack Chicken on the Mardi Gras for me was the best chicken sandwich I ever had. So Both of them are good. I think it comes down to the specific ship. So I mean, if you want to reach out to us as a travel agent or talk to a travel agent, we can help you narrow down your choices based on what you're looking for on that specific ship or on the itinerary, because they're both good cruise lines. They both have outstanding ships. They're just different, so it just depends on what you're looking for. Your family is looking at the Carnival Valor. Is it a good ship? A good friend of ours has taken over 60 cruises on Carnival, and they are This Cruise Life on social media. Y'all should follow them. They're great guys. And I asked about that particular ship recently, and he said it was actually a very good ship. I don't have personal experience on it, but he has very good experiences on it. And one thing I said earlier, with the Carnival ship, they do have a lot of older ships. And I look at when was the last time it was refurbished. They're all getting that blue livery now. They're getting the blue hull painted on them, which looks great, by the way. I think it looks fantastic. They stand out more in port. So if they've gotten the blue hull, then they've gone in for a dry dock recently. Now, it may have been a quicker dry dock where, they just kind of got things refreshed, or it could have been a longer dry dock is like 2 or 3 months. A quick dry dock is a month. So that's what I look at. So if the ship has been in, if it has the blue livery, I know, okay, the ship's been in recently. And then I'll go in and do some research to see what it got while it was in dry dock. But I got some good friends who love that ship. Best public restrooms at sea. Well, Celebrity actually has an attendant that's in there, and Princess has really nice ones. Just create a Where's Walter cruise ship. Yeah, I have it. It's right here. Where's Walter cruise ship? Right here. I just got it off of the Sky Princess. And of course, back there, I've got my Celebrity ship hanging out, but this is the Where's Walter ship. And guys, I've been going about 90 minutes. So, I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly. Is your first cruise? Anybody who's taken their first cruise, you really should work with a travel agent. Obviously, I'd love to work with you, but there are a lot of really good travel agents out there. And it's all about getting on the right ship. A lot of people are like, well, what cruise line should I go on? No, it's what ship should you go on? Because the Royal Caribbean has 20-some ships. Carnival has 20-some ships. Celebrity has, a whole bunch of ships. Princess has a whole bunch of ships. Depending on what you're looking for, MSC has a whole slew of ships. Depending on what you're looking for, it's more about the ship than it is the cruise line. Because even within the same cruise line, you're going to get different experiences on different ships. Can be different things included. Carnival Mardi Gras has food included that's not included on the Panorama, for example. So it's really about the ship. It's less about the cruise line and more about the ship when it comes to your first cruise. So certainly work with a travel agent. We're free. Our services are 100% free, and we don't work for a specific cruise line. We will compare. I've had multiple clients who come to me, I want this ship and I want that itinerary, and we will present some alternatives anyway. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that ship had that, or I didn't realize they were doing that itinerary. And they still may go with their original choice, but at least we've opened their eyes to, hey, there's these other things available that you might want to consider. Whereas if you go straight to the cruise line, they want you on that ship. So that is one of the advantages of working with an independent cruise line. So sometimes food is better on the Lido deck. Yeah, sometimes the buffets are better. It's interesting, like on Holland America, I thought the main dining room was okay, but the buffet was outstanding. Oh my God, it was so good. And then the specialty dining was really good too. So 128 days to your first cruise. Wonderful. Best Carnival ship. I've only been on the Mardi Gras. So that's the one that I've been on, but I don't think there's a best ship in any of the cruise lines. It's just the best ship for you. So I've been going almost 2 hours. I'm going to have to wrap this up, guys. I'm so sorry. I've got clients to talk to that I've got to get to. So we'll be back next Sunday. I think we're going to be on the Scarlet Lady. Now over on YouTube, we're gonna pick a night. We're gonna start popping up probably 9 o'clock at night one day during the week. So you can certainly join us on YouTube during the week, and on TikTok, we try to come on every single Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. Really appreciate y'all coming along. But next Sunday we will be getting on the Scarlet Lady, so it'll probably be a late live from the Scarlet Lady, maybe more like 3 p.m. Eastern time after we're on the ship. Sail away won't be until 6 p.m. So we'll probably do it before the sail away. So anyway, everybody on YouTube, on TikTok, thank you so much for joining in today and spending a little time with us on a Sunday. And as always, if there's anything that we can do for you, please reach out on TikTok. Click our logo, and it'll take you to our little little link tree. And over on YouTube, just click in the descriptions, and go ahead and find the link on how to get to us. Where'swaltertravel.com, contact us page, all that good stuff. So everybody on TikTok, have a fabulous rest of your Sunday, and everybody on YouTube, have amazing rest of your day too. Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate it.